Have you ever wondered how Vietnam, a country once devastated by war, has transformed into one of the most promising emerging markets in Southeast Asia? To answer this question, we need to journey back to the mid-70s, immediately after the Vietnam War. The country was in ruins, marked by the scars of a conflict that lasted almost 2 decades. Infrastructure was severely damaged, cities and towns lay in ruin, and the land was littered with unexploded ordnance. The economy was in shambles. The war had drained the country's resources, and the task of rebuilding seemed insurmountable. The unemployment rate was sky-high, with millions of people seeking work but finding none. The national currency, the dong, was unstable and inflation was rampant. This was a nation on its knees, its economy in tatters. But Vietnam was not a country to be easily defeated. The Vietnamese people, known for their resilience and tenacity, faced these challenges head-on. They began the arduous task of rebuilding their nation from the ground up. The government, recognizing the urgent need for economic reform, initiated policies aimed at stabilizing the currency and curbing inflation. However, these measures were not enough to pull the country out of its economic slump, and the situation remained dire for many years. The journey to economic recovery was a long and challenging one, filled with numerous obstacles and setbacks. But the Vietnamese people, imbued with a spirit of determination and resilience, never gave up. They continued to work hard, to innovate, and to seek out new opportunities, and their efforts were not in vain. Despite the formidable challenges they faced, the Vietnamese people managed to lay the foundation for what would become one of the most remarkable economic transformations of the late 20th and early 21st centuries. The dawn of Vietnam's economy was a period of struggle and hardship, but it was also a time of hope and determination. It was a time when a nation, ravaged by war and economic turmoil, began to rise from the ashes and chart a new course towards prosperity and growth. So, how did Vietnam manage to turn the tide and start its journey towards economic prosperity? Let's delve into this remarkable transformation. The pivotal moment in Vietnam's economic history came in 1986, with the introduction of the Doi Moi policy. This significant shift was not a mere change in policy, but a complete transformation in economic philosophy. The Doi Moi policy, meaning renovation in Vietnamese, marked the transition from a centrally planned economy to a market-oriented one. It was not just about changing gears. It was about steering the economic vehicle of Vietnam onto an entirely new highway. Before Doi Moi, Vietnam operated under a command economy, where the government held the reins of economic decision-making. However, this system led to inefficiencies and stunted growth, prompting the need for change. And so, the Doi Moi policy emerged, a policy that championed the principles of a market economy: competition, entrepreneurship, and private ownership. It was a bold move, especially for a country that had been under strict state control for decades. But as we say, fortune favors the bold. The Doi Moi policy also opened the doors to foreign investors, presenting Vietnam as a promising land of opportunity. It was like extending a welcoming hand to the rest of the world, inviting them to partake in its growth story. And the world responded. Foreign investments poured in, adding fuel to the already ignited economic engine of Vietnam. Moreover, the policy gave a significant boost to the private sector. It was like a breath of fresh air for Vietnamese entrepreneurs who had been stifled under the state-controlled regime. They now had the liberty to innovate, to create, to contribute to the economy in their own unique ways. This led to an increase in productivity, job creation, and ultimately, economic growth. In essence, the Doi Moi policy was a turning point for Vietnam. It was the catalyst that set off a chain of events, leading to a stronger, more vibrant, and more prosperous economy. It was the spark that ignited the economic powerhouse that Vietnam is today. The Doi Moi policy was indeed a game-changer, setting the stage for Vietnam's rapid economic growth. After the implementation of the Doi Moi policy, Vietnam experienced an economic boom. The shift from a centrally planned economy to a market-driven one in the late 20th century was the catalyst that set this Southeast Asian nation on a path of accelerated growth. The 90s marked a period of significant expansion for Vietnam's economy, with the gross domestic product growth rate soaring. The nation was no longer confined to the modest pace of growth it had known in the past, but was now a vibrant and rapidly developing economy. This surge in economic activity was not confined to a single sector, but was widespread across manufacturing, services, and agriculture. But the story doesn't end with Vietnam's domestic growth. It's the nation's integration into the global economy that truly underscores its economic transformation. As Vietnam opened its doors wider to the world, foreign direct investment began to flow in, fueling further expansion. Companies across the globe were drawn to Vietnam's low labor costs, strategic location, and increasingly open market. This foreign investment not only boosted Vietnam's economic growth, but also helped modernize its industries and improve its technological capabilities. A watershed moment in Vietnam's economic journey came in 2007 with its accession to the World Trade Organization. This move signaled Vietnam's readiness to fully embrace global trade and compete on the world stage. It also brought about a comprehensive liberalization of trade, with Vietnam reducing its tariffs and non-tariff barriers, thus opening its markets even further. The result? An economy that is not just growing, but thriving. An economy that is not just national, but global. An economy that is not just surviving, but flourishing. With its integration into the global economy, Vietnam had firmly established itself as a key player in the Southeast Asian region. And as we'll see in the next scene, this is just the beginning of Vietnam's economic story. The nation's current economic status and future prospects promise to be even more exciting, so stay tuned. Fast forward to the present day, and Vietnam's economy has shown remarkable resilience. Today, Vietnam stands as a testament to the power of economic transformation and perseverance. Over the years, the country has built a robust manufacturing sector, emerging as a key player in the global supply chain. The nation's factories hum with activity, churning out a diverse range of goods from electronics to textiles that find their way to markets around the world. Vietnam's role as an exporting powerhouse has been a significant driver of its economic growth. The country's exports have surged, with electronics, machinery, and textiles topping the list. This success has not only boosted Vietnam's economic status, but also positioned it as a leading player in the global market. However, Vietnam is not resting on its laurels. The country is continuously looking forward, identifying new opportunities and areas for growth. One such area is the digital economy. With a young tech-savvy population and increasing internet penetration, Vietnam is poised to harness the power of digital technology to further boost its economy. The country's digital economy is growing at a rapid pace, with e-commerce, online entertainment, and digital financial services leading the charge. Another promising prospect for Vietnam is renewable energy. As the world shifts towards cleaner, more sustainable energy sources, Vietnam has the potential to become a leader in this field. The country's geographical location, with abundant sunshine and wind, makes it an ideal candidate for solar and wind power generation. With the right policies and investment, renewable energy could become a major contributor to Vietnam's economy in the coming years. The future certainly looks bright for Vietnam as it continues to evolve and adapt to global economic trends. Vietnam's journey from a war-torn nation to an emerging market is a story of resilience and determination. And as it steps into the future, it carries with it the promise of continued growth and prosperity. So there you have it, the incredible journey of Vietnam's economy from a war-torn nation to an emerging powerhouse. Let's take a moment to reflect on the key points we've discussed today. We began by tracing the roots of Vietnam's economic story, a nation that rose from the ashes of a devastating war to establish a stable and solid economy. The government's decision to shift from a centrally planned economy to a socialist-oriented market economy in the mid-80s, under the Doi Moi policy, was a pivotal moment. This reform opened the doors to foreign investment and sparked a period of rapid economic growth that propelled Vietnam onto the world stage. We then explored the economic boom that followed. With the integration into the global economy and the establishment of trade agreements with various countries, Vietnam's GDP saw an exponential increase. The country's flourishing industries, including textiles, footwear, and electronics, became major players in the global market, creating jobs and improving standards of living. Our journey then took us to the present day, where, despite various challenges, Vietnam's economy continues to show a promising trajectory. With a thriving tech scene, robust manufacturing sector, and a growing middle class, Vietnam is well positioned to be a major economic force in Southeast Asia. But as we all know, economies are not static. They evolve, adapt, and change. Vietnam's economic progress is an ongoing narrative, one that continues to be written with every policy decision, every investment, and every innovation. The country's journey is far from over. Vietnam's economic progress is truly a testament to the country's resilience and adaptability. It will be interesting to see what the future holds for this dynamic Southeast Asian nation. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Mr. Explainer for more insightful videos like this one.